Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the second part of building a JavaScript application. So in the last video we covered the variables, what do they do. We covered as well getting elements with the plain JavaScript, and we did a bit of an introduction to jQuery as well. So I will try in these first few video tutorials to just make a little bit of JavaScript, and on the other side just like jQuery, as you can see in here, because it's basically the same and jQuery is so much easier. So I just want to show you this, and then later on I will just start using just like jQuery. All right, so something that I didn't cover quite well in the last video was really the power of using variables. So in here, in the beginning, as you can see, I put like a variable called first name and another variable called last name, where I'm putting my first and last name. So if we actually check here in the developer portfolio that we built before, there is, let's say, I'm not going to go through all of these, but let's say just like these three cases. I have my name in here on the top on the navigation bar. I have here in the heroes section my name in here, and I have in here as well on the about me section. So if we have to change these in the actual HTML, we would have to go, let's say, 3 times. I need to go in here 1 time to change the name here on the top of the navigation. I then need to go again on the header section to change this as well. And lastly, I have to go here as well on the about me. So imagine if you have like a lot of places where there is your name or some other words that you want to update for something new. If you are not using variables, can you imagine how many times you have to go there and change? This is like, how we say in Portugal, like a monkey's work, you know, because you shouldn't be doing this kind of thing, like repeating the same work over and over again. So to make things simple, we create these variables like we have in here. So I will just now comment the jQuery for now, and I'll be using the plain JavaScript. This is the one here on the top. So in this bit of code in here, we are updating this section in here and this section in here. Now I want to update this one as well. So for that, let's open our developer tools with the F12 on the keyboard. Let's select this one in here and check. We have a class of logo. Okay, for that, we go in here and we're going to do in JavaScript document dot get element by class name, and the class name is logo. Check that we don't put a dot for the class like in CSS, because it already says in here class name. So this is the class, and since look in here before, when we are getting an ID on JavaScript, ID supposedly is something that you are just using one time, yeah, because that's why it's an ID. But when you're using classes, you can use classes multiple times in multiple elements. So you need to know JavaScript which position is that logo, because like I said, you know, you can use classes in multiple elements, or you might just use it in one. So you need to know JavaScript which element you are using. So for that, we're going to open square brackets, and we're going to put 0. 0 is like the first one in JavaScript. It is the index. So it means that it's like the first one. It's not first. If you put first, it's going to mean it's the second. So you should put a 0. Make sure it's like, if there is any other class logo on your page, it will just select the first one. This is the first one that is appearing on the page. Okay, so we're going to get this by class name, and then we're going to put dot inner HTML, and we're going to put equals to okay, we're going to put Telmo. We're going to put so it's going to be first name, and then plus, we're going to put a string, which is this dot, and then plus the last name, and let's close this with a semicolon, save, and refresh the page. Okay, now we have here this space, so let's get rid of that in here. All right, and now the space, there is no space in here, but we can just like fix this by putting a plus in here and putting a space in a string. Okay, right, let's refresh. Now it's good. So we have this updated now, and we have this one updated, and now we need to update this one as well. So let's go in here, and now this one is a h4. It doesn't have any ID or name, so we're going to put it in there. So if you go to our About Me section, and where is it? I'm going to put it ID of, let's say, my dash name. So let's go to JavaScript, and we're going to put in here document.get element by ID, and the ID is my dash name, and we're going to put the inner HTML is going to be equal to first name plus space plus last name. Just copy these, and then we close finally with a semicolon. Let's refresh. It's still the same. Okay, so we put this work now, yeah? So now imagine that you, for some situation, you need now to update this name for I don't know. Let's say if you want to put Tom Hanks. Now I'm going to put in here on the top Tom Hanks, and if we refresh the page, look, we just did a change one time in our variables, and it updated automatically Tom Hanks on the top, Tom Hanks in here, hi, it's me, Tom Hanks, and again in here. You see how powerful variables are. So this is like really why you should use variables all the time, because you can just use them all over again, and you don't need to be updating things lots and lots. You should not repeat yourself. Okay, so we learned about these. If I wanted, I think I covered these as well. Yeah, in jQuery, I mean. So in jQuery, if I want to select something, for example, like this one in here with a class name, I just go in here, $, it means that I'm using jQuery, open parentheses and quotes, and I'm going to put, for example, the class name in here is logo. And I need, in jQuery, you actually need to put this dot. It means that is a class. And then in here, you would put something like text. And you would have to put, so first name plus dot. This is like the string. And then last name plus last name. So basically this in here, look, is the same as this in here. Updating this name that is on the navigation bar here on the top. So as you can see, look how smaller this line of code is compared to what is in here on the top with plain JavaScript. So really, why do you have to use JavaScript when actually jQuery was invented to make things easier and faster to write down? You know what I mean? So just trust in me in this, and if you need to use this, you'll be using jQuery at work, you know, not plain JavaScript. Okay, so now let's go back to the plain JavaScript. So as you can see, guys, don't get lost and don't confuse the things. I have here on the top, if I'm using vanilla JavaScript, like plain JavaScript, and in here I use like jQuery, just like to demonstrate how they are different, but they do the same thing. Now imagine that we want to update in our page something like the color, the font size, or anything. So let's say that I want to change the color here on the top. Let's put this back to my name. Telmo Sampaio. There you go, Telmo. Okay. Let's say now that we want to change the color of this. So for that, we would have to do document in plain JavaScript now. Remember that we are using this in here. Document.get element by ID. Actually, no. Actually, this is the class name. Okay, class name logo with a open square bracket 0. It means it is the first class with that name that appears in our index.html. This one in here. It could be more, you know what I mean? Because it's a class. A class should be used multiple times. But we are telling them it's the first class with a name of logo that appears on the page. That's why we put the 0. That's how JavaScript tells. You're going to understand this a little bit better when I'm going to cover arrays. Okay, so document.get elements by class name logo, open bracket 0 is the first one, and then I'm going to say style, dot color, and I'm going to put, I'm updating the color of that. Color, and let's put in here on the top variable name my color, and in here I'm going to put my color is going to be blue. So if I go in here now, I want this color to be blue, so I'm going to put in here my color. So I'm saying I'm going to update this in here with a CSS. That's why I put dot style, and then the dot color. It means I'm going to update the color of it, and I'm going to give it a value of my color, which is in here. I put var my color equals to blue. So if I refresh the page, look now, how is it blue? And now that I set up this color, I could eventually do the same, for example, for this in here. I'm gonna put in here document. So this is the one. I'm gonna put in here dot style dot color equals to my color. And look, now this one is blue. I didn't actually wanted to do that one. Because this was the job role, exactly. If I wanted to do this one, the greeting, yeah. If I just do this in here, this would be for the greeting. Now this is blue again. Obviously, you don't have to give it a variable for the color. You could come in here simply and just say like red, for example, greeting. You see, now it's red. And or you could come in here and say yellow. And now it's yellow, as you can see. So basically, now you can see that with JavaScript, you can just like access the elements on the page, update their text, like we showed in the previous example, and now in here you can update the style. You can put color. Let's say now that we want to put font size. We go to this one, to the greeting. Let's copy this, and I want to do dot style and dot font size. So this will be the font size. Font size, let's give it 50 pixels. Let's refresh. Boom! Look at this now, so big. 50 pixels. And basically that's it, guys. So as you can see, you can give it whatever you want, like as you use in CSS. You can come in here with JavaScript and update the page in there. Okay, so we covered this. Now let's do the same thing in jQuery, so you can see the difference. Let's comment this out for now, and let's check, for example, this one for the greeting. Okay, so in here, let's first, I'm going to do exactly the same thing, guys, just pay attention, but now in jQuery, for you to see how easier it is with jQuery. So I'm going to access this element with the ID of greeting, which is this one. If I refresh the page, still the same. Let me just, yeah. So now it's back to normal because I saved, and this code is just like commented out, so it's not actually working. So I go in here, access this element in here with the ID of greeting, and I'm going to say dot CSS, open parentheses, I'm going to open double quotes, and I'm going to say, for example, color and semicolon, and I'm going to put, let's say, orange. It's not semicolon, sorry, it's comma, okay? Let's refresh the page, and now this is orange. Okay, let's compare this now. In here, on the top, you would have to put, with plain JavaScript, document.getElement by ID, because that element has an ID of greeting. And you would have to say dot style to access the CSS, and then dot color, and you put it equal to whatever you want, to give it the color. And in jQuery, you put $, it means that you are using jQuery, and you put in here open parentheses, double quotes, and inside you put the name of your selector. In this case is our ID, that's why it's a hashtag, greeting, and then you put .css, it means that you're going to use the CSS now, and you're going to put first the property, it's going to be color, and then after you're going to put orange, is the actual color. So as you can see, it's much like simple, at least for me, I don't know, it's much more simple this way to use in jQuery rather than use all of this piece of code in here on the top. So, and after, let's try the same now for the font size, like we did. So now for this is what we have at the moment. Let's give it a font size now. I would go in here, font size, and I would say 40 pixels. Look in here. When you are accessing in jQuery, look, the property font size is exactly the same as in CSS because we have font dash size, but on plain JavaScript, look at this in here that is commented out, is font, and then you have a camel case size. So it's a bit different, as you can see. Let's refresh this, and now this is like hello world, Elmo Sampaio, and is I should put this in here, this space, just to make sure it's, yeah, okay. Now it's in here with 40 pixels as I put in here. Right, this is what we covered so far, accessing elements on the page with JavaScript or jQuery, updating their CSS values, you can change the properties like the color, font size, whatever you want. We check the why variables are so powerful, and yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Now, so next video I'm gonna show you how to check like Boolean values like true and false, and conditions. Remember when I put in here, for example, Tom Hanks, that is changing like all the names and stuff. Based upon that, we can change, for example, background, images, text, anything. So based on conditions and values of true or false. I'm going to cover this in the next video because I don't want this video to get too long. You know, some of you guys don't have like a lot of time to be watching 30 minutes or whatever. So I'll try to break down these videos for a bit shorter. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if this is your first video that you are watching. And I'll see you in the next video.